morning, everybody. We are going to continue our talk about science today. So yesterday we talked about what it means to be an engineer. We talked about what it looks like, and we started to talk about the design process and the different steps in it. So today we are going to go over some of those steps more in depth. So we are going to go over steps 1 and 2 today, and then we will go over steps 3 and 4 tomorrow. So, step 1 is define a problem. It says Emma's father has a problem. How can she use the steps in a design process to help him solve it? So let's watch this video together.
Emma is in second grade and likes science class. As a good scientist, she observes events in the world around her. One Saturday, Emma watches her dad trying to load a heavy box into his truck. She observes a problem. Emma has to find a problem that needs a solution. By defining a problem, she has completed the first step of a design process.
So I just want you to take a second and pause the video and think about what problem did Emma see in this video. So take just a second to pause and to think about that. So the problem that Emma saw that her father was having was that he couldn't lift that heavy box into his truck. And so she needs to think of a way using the steps in the design process to help him. So think of some ways, how could she maybe help him be able to lift that heavy box into his truck? So we're going to go to our next page. So this is going to be your discussion question on PowerSchool. So on our science page on PowerSchool, I will post this video as well as your discussion post, which says, what is the first step in a design process? So it tells you up here, and it was in our video. So I want you to make sure that you write a full sentence, which includes a capital letter and a period. So you will type that on PowerSchool.
Work with a partner to define a problem within your classroom. Record it in your evidence notebook.
So this is something that you can do at home. Rather than an evidence notebook, I will also put this on PowerSchool as a discussion board that you can post into. You can think of either, if you're regularly a student who's in person, you can think of a problem that we have in the classroom. So maybe it can be all sorts of different things. Think of it kind of as how the dad was struggling to pick up that heavy box. Is there something we have trouble with in the classroom? Maybe our projector screen doesn't come down very well, or maybe one of our desk legs is broken. So I want you to think of a problem in our classroom, or if you're at home as a virtual student, you could also think of a problem in your home. And I want you to think of it in the same way. So something that you can fix. So maybe something is broken, or something's not working as well as it should. So I want you to write about it in your discussion post. So all you need to do is define the problem. So that means you just need to say what the problem is. We'll think of a way to fix it later. That'll be in our next steps.
You have just finished step 1.
Good
Define
job.
a problem.
Good job. We have finished step 1. So we are going to go to step 2, which is plan and build. So we've already defined what our problem is. Now we need to plan, we need to think about it, brainstorm, and see how we can fix our problem. So above our video, it says Emma will plan and build a solution to help her father. So she's thinking of ways that she can help him.
Emma really wants to help her dad get the heavy box into his truck. She has an idea. Emma knows that ramps can help move objects. Emma makes a plan to use a ramp to solve her dad's problem. By planning and building, she has completed the second step of a design process.
So as you could see in the video, Emma was brainstorming different ways that she could help her dad, and she was using things around her. So you could write your ideas in a notebook or on our PowerSchool discussion board. You could use different objects at home. Like in the video, Emma was using construction paper, she had a toy truck, And she had that little box. I don't know if you saw it, but that little box to kind of mimic what the problem was to help her fix it. So we will keep going. And so I want you to be thinking while we're going through this, how can you think about planning for the problem that you put in our discussion board? So the problem at home or in the classroom, how can you start to think about fixing that?
Choose the answer that tells what takes place during step 2 of a design process. You define a problem, you plan and build a solution, you solve a problem, and share your results.
So this will be also on PowerSchool. This is going to be our poll. So just like you took yesterday, you will pick which one of these is correct for what takes place during step 2 of the design process. So we just heard it in our video. We maybe see it up here. Use your text clues and picture clues to help you answer. So this one we are actually going to skip for now
Think
just because.
back to the classroom problem you defined. Work with a small group to plan and build a solution. Record your plan in your evidence notebook.
So we skipped to that lunchbox one. It was an activity of looking in a lunchbox and seeing how we could make it better. I think that would be really fun, but I think we need to do a little bit more before we do that at home. And there are a lot of things that are needed for that. So we might do that in the future, but today we're going to stick with some of our other things. So this just says, think back to the classroom or home problem that you defined. Pick the problem that you chose. Then it says work with a small group. So I know you're at home today, so you could, if you have siblings, you could talk to them about it, or your parents, or you could just keep brainstorming. And I want you to think of a solution. So how can you fix it? And then you can all put another discussion board up. And so there are going to be a lot of discussion boards, but they will all be labeled. So don't worry, it's not a ton of stuff. It's all going in the same way. Okay?
You have just finished step 2, plan and build.
So that is, we are done with step 2. Good job. Tomorrow we will come back to do step 3 and step 4. But today I just want you to focus on step 1, defining a problem, and step 2, planning and building. So today is going to be a lot of brainstorming, and I'm excited to see the problems that you come up with, and I'm even more excited to see how you're going to fix them.